Ladies and gentlemen, you are tuned to Anywhere the Needle Drops, AtND Live. We are back here in the Theory One studios, and we are joined by the Erly, and we're going to get to hear some tunes for them right now.
Trucks in a sea of tragedy, but when my heart is on the border of insanity, I get the overwhelming ticking of ecstasy. I'm cruising, you're losing. Never stop to heal my bruising. You drift and I climb. 55 on the other side. 55 on the other side. My pedal is pushing hard when a red light flickers past. My hands are gripping on to the wheel and slipping fast. No rearview mirror to focus, Mary Jane on repeat. All that I have to show is wearing at my backseat. in your talk. Read in the call, something in the way you bend your words. Read in the call, and I wonder if it's my turn. Read in the call, something in the way you bend your words. Read in the call, and I wonder if it's my turn. Read in the call, read in the call, read in the call, read in the call.
All right. Great job, bands. Let's meet everybody here. Who do we have in the room with me today?
My name is Simon Kaufman Hurst. I'm playing keys, and we are the Erly.
I'm Fran Gleason. I play drums, and we are the Erly.
I'm Colin Matterford. I play bass, and we are the Erly.
I'm Trevor McDonald. I play lead guitar, and we are the Erly.
All right. Excellent. Welcome to the Erly, and welcome back to the show. This is not the first time you've been on the show, though, Simon. You are a newbie here. You and I know each other from around the scene, but welcome. First time to the show. So, yeah. So we're here today to celebrate a new album. So before we talk about the album specifically, did you guys, plan to just pump out music the way you've been doing so? I mean, we had a full length last year, and then it seems like, I don't know, every couple of months or so, I was getting some kind of a new single or an EP or something, and now here we are on the eve of a brand new full album. So, like, what are you guys doing out there? What are you on? What are you eating? What's in your Cheerios?
Energy.
Monster, a lot of Monster.
A lot of monsters and Cayman Jacks.
Cayman Jacks.
And all of a sudden, we have a bunch of songs.
Yeah, a lot of
works.
pizza, French fries, maybe some, deep fried vegetables.
Yeah.
Very healthy band.
I can see that. Yeah. So the new album is Salem Lights. So what's in store for everybody?
Oh man, an 11-track album. The process of us coming back to our roots and just recording everything live in a studio together.
Okay.
We were trying to do some vocal takes even, as far as that, even full-on recording live tracking. I think we only ended up with like one tune with actual audio from vocals that we did with recording in studio together. But this is a roots rock album compared to what we had been doing in the past.
Yeah, for sure. Because the last album, that was a little more produced. You guys kind of went for a pretty specific sound, it sounded like. I loved it. Great stuff. I do think about, though, the first time I caught you guys live, and I mean, we're talking way back in 2018. It was the River Lights Music Festival, I believe. And I think at that time, were you a trio? What was the setup then?
Yeah, I think it was the three of us, and then we had a bass player back then, Ivan Torres.
All right.
That was back in right when we started.
That's like within the year that I started with them.
Okay.
It was a cool gig.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it seemed like it was just kind of like straight up rock and roll, and then tell me a little bit about how you guys have evolved in your sound since then.
I think we're focusing more on like a live aspect of the band, kind of more of a jam band feel.
Okay.
Especially for our live shows, we try to make it so that each solo kind of sounds different. We don't get too caught up on if a section of a certain song needs to be a certain length, or rather we just extend it more.
Yeah, and I think before that we were kind of really into kind of jazz rock and funk and soul kind of music, and Steely Dan was a big aspect of our listening and our we just embodied that kind of stuff. You can probably talk more about that.
Feeling lots of Steely Dan in the last album for sure. Yeah.
And now I think it's getting towards that Grateful Dead sound, where the best time that we would have, especially with recording these tunes, is just playing it live and together, kind of reacting with one another, and also being able to take that out and expand upon it. You know?
Yeah.
Even what you just heard with Reading the Call, that's not how it's studio written, but it has an element that we have added sense for the live part of it. So.
Yeah, and I think with the last record, we spent a lot of time, like, after recording the live tracks, adding, like, horns and strings, which was awesome. But this time around, we went in to do demos and just had us behind our instruments, and that just felt so inspirational and felt very natural.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It seems like the evolution in sound that you guys have been going through is also natural, or is it intentional? Are you guys setting, like, out to we're gonna do this now, and then I don't know, the next album's gonna be a country album or whatever? What's the mindset behind all that?
I think we just kind of let it evolve, whether that's with whatever the first song that we recorded with, and then just kind of build off from there. But no, I don't think we ever really go in with the intention of it's going to be a certain genre. It's just kind of whatever it is, and then you kind of start getting an idea of what it is as you record more and more. So,
Yeah.
But no, in the beginning, it wasn't really with any specific genre in mind.
And Simon, so as we mentioned, you're new to the band since you guys were last on the show. So what do you bring into the fold? How'd you get involved with these guys?
Yeah, I met Fran through a mutual gig with Abby Thomas, who just a kind of a sub gig. We ended up playing together, and then we sat down in a room to try playing together, and it felt really good. And so I also really enjoy a lot of that. Let's get in the room, play off of each other. So we were kind of kindred spirits, I think, at the right time to just chase this thing down and what's now on the record. So yeah.
So when it comes to the lyrics themselves, is there one particular person in the band that's lifting the weight on that, or is it being spread out? I noticed, Fran, you've been on the vocals a lot more, it seems, in the last couple of years. Yeah,
definitely. I think now what we are kind of practicing is if you write the song, you sing it.
Nice.
So Colin, like on the new record, I sing 4 songs. I contributed those 4 songs lyrically.
Nice.
Trevor had Sally. That's the one he brought. And then Colin just wrote songs like crazy on the spot, like literally on the spot. And so he has the majority of the songs on the record. But
Yeah.
It's kind of like, as far as lyrics, it's kind of like you hear the music and then you don't know what it's going to be about lyrically. It's kind of like you throw colors onto a canvas until it starts looking like something, and then you kind of build around that as far as lyrical themes, pretty much.
Okay. So, I mean, are you aiming for anything particular when it comes to the lyrics? I mean, there's a lot of different things you guys are singing about. There always seems to be like a hint of debauchery involved, whether it be the actual topic of the song or maybe just the aftermath of such. But
Yeah.
I mean, what are the stories you guys are hoping to tell? You know?
Well, yeah, there's some debaucherous tunes. We have OH10. That's probably one of our most debaucherous tunes.
Yes, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Great
just
song, by the way.
Oh,
Great
thank
song.
you. Yeah. It's it all just kind of stemmed from just OH10 at it again, and the idea of, because I was driving through Ohio when that kind of clicked,
Sure.
and so
That's the best time for creativity, when you're stuck in traffic on the freeway.
yeah. And it's just like cool. Then I was like, kind of telling a story of someone trying to get out of Ohio, but all the obstacles that come up when you're trying to leave or trying to go somewhere. And
It's hard to escape that state, you know?
Yeah. I mean, we love Ohio.
I really do. Yeah.
No offense to our Ohio listeners, but it's
It's kind of the same thing with 55. The first lyric I wrote was 55 on the other side, and then I just try to start wrapping my brain around, okay, maybe that has something to do with driving, so you try and come up with other lyrics that focus around that so you can get some kind of linear thematical message. as far as the lyrics are concerned.
Yeah. What about you when you're writing songs, Trevor? Anything?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with melody, especially being a big part of the chord progressions and the writing process. The tunes like what I wrote with Sally come to me in a way that if I hear a good melody, I usually just hook onto a good hook. And then building off of that, I can write a whole story about something going on, you know. Conveying like something that may be of a hard time in lyrics, but making it a feel-good song feel a lot better than just trying to pull at the heartstrings of people when I've already had it happen, or whoever it is that's listening. Just know that the protagonist doesn't have to be you, know.
Yeah. And Simon, are we gonna get to have any Simon written and sung tracks coming up?
It could happen.
Nice.
There's none on this album yet. I just got to add to all the songs that these guys were bringing, but never say never, right?
Excellent. I look forward to that. I mean, in the way you guys pump out music, I mean, what? So like 2 months we'll have that, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
Next
Album 7,
Next album will be all Simon vocals.
Oh, yes. The Simon concept album. I like that.
Yeah, right.
He said he's born and now he is a man. That is the album. Simon.
Maybe for 11 or 12.
Maybe for 11.
So either in the actual final produced product or just over the course of the experience of creating the album, are there any highlights, favorite moments, great stories, or terrible stories you guys have?
I mean, I think Salem Lights, the song, came of a good time together. Well, I'd go right ahead.
We went to we took a break from recording, went to a bar to grab some burgers and beer, came back.
We smoked some cigarettes on the way, too.
We did.
All the cigarettes along the way.
We came back, and these two, I think, were playing Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, we had the PlayStation fired up, so we were definitely playing
So
some Red
Simon,
Dead, yeah.
Simon was at his keyboard. I sat down with the bass, and I just said, Simon, give me a chord progression. And then he starts playing this 6/8 in A flat, and then within probably 40 minutes or so, we came up with the basic foundation of what the title track is.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the most on the spot
It
songs.
was pretty cool because I don't think we intended to go in with the free reign of recording our stuff, but I remember that day in particular, one of us had to press record for it to happen, and we had to set up the mix on our own, so it was like, let's surprise ourselves. Yeah. And that tune, really came naturally. And then as a concept to hear Salem Lights was like, found out later on, speaking of cigarettes, that's actually a cigarette brand.
Yeah, we didn't know that. Hopefully we don't get sued.
Well,
I found that out right now, actually. I didn't know that.
It's got to be a generational thing, right? Like those
Yeah.
the anti-smoking campaigns are really working if you don't know the cigarette brands anymore. Because I knew that immediately when I saw that.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
But lyrically, it's like same thing with Salem Lights and 55. I mean, those phrases just popped into my head in the moment of recording, and then you kind of just build off from there as far as lyrics.
Yeah.
You kind of you don't figure out what you're talking about until the song is almost finished, until you're writing the last verse. So
Yeah. So we have an album release show coming up as well, and I'm very excited about this. Well, I'm mostly excited. I'll actually be out of the country when you guys do this, so thanks for not checking my calendar, guys.
Yeah.
But you're doing the album release show here in Niles, which is my hometown, my town that I love. And so what brought you guys to doing it right here in Niles?
Yeah, I think we just realized we've never done a release show at Niles before because we've played like South Bend a couple times and then the Acorn.
Theater, yeah.
And it just dawned on us we never did a hometown release show. And so we hit up Matt at Earworm and basically got us set up at the Rage.
Yeah. We had done a test run gig, and then when it came down to doing something like this, I mean, we were like, what if we just do like a night of, really play out our as much as we have right now. And I mean, it's just down the street. It's more at home than ever. It's fun. It's kind of keeping a tradition because technically one of those was Mishawaka. We'd have South Bend, Mishawaka, then Three Oaks. It's like, it's fun. I think every year we're probably gonna. Next thing you know, we're gonna be by the dumpster in
Collect them all.
Kalamazoo or something.
Yeah.
Do a little dumpster set.
So you'll have the album release show. Then are we going to hit the road, do any touring, or how are you going to get out there promoting the album?
Yeah, we got a tour in October.
Nice.
We're gonna head over to the East Coast, down south, and then up into Wisconsin.
Yeah, do a little swoop around and back up, a little loop-de-loo.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. It's probably get involved in more debauchery to inspire further albums, I hope.
Nah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, you guys, we've talked about this before, but Simon, you have is it a classical music background? Yeah. And then you've taken that now and turned it into what you're in, I don't know, 45 bands? Is that the case?
Not quite yet. but
Okay.
we're headed
What number are
towards
we
it,
at
yeah.
now?
I think it's 7 or 8 right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, what drives you? Where do you get your energy for all that you're doing with all this?
Yeah. I have always just really loved listening to music. I think that's kind of where I got a lot of the start of it. And then taking piano lessons as a kid, I just never stopped through because I always enjoyed playing piano. It felt really comfortable. And then I studied piano as my major in college. And that opened up a lot of doors of like taking it seriously in a way that I hadn't always in my entire life because it was just something I was doing.
Yeah.
Something I loved was something I just kind of kept doing. And then I decided I wanted to pursue it professionally. And there's not a whole lot of classical professional gigs. And also I love listening to music like this, and I loved playing this. And so I kind of just have figured out how to transfer some of my skills from classical background into making music that I love and just trying to do it as much as I possibly can. So
Awesome.
yeah.
Well, everything I've seen, you're doing a fantastic job. So,
Thanks.
yeah. So, album release, we're going to do some touring. Anything on the horizon after that? Do we have any idea what's going on? Or are we just going to take it as it goes?
Might have
See what you did there.
might have some leftover tunes being released on their own.
Okay.
Maybe.
All right.
I don't think we've listened to those since we've recorded them.
It's all right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna do some more tours next year. We're getting that figured out, so there's gonna be a lot of gigs and yeah, probably some single releases.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who knows?
Some live releases, hopefully.
live releases.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
If
Yeah,
you
we've
can't
been,
catch
we've
us
been
at the
recording
shows.
some more of our shows recently.
Yep.
Thanks to Simon. So
Very nice. Yeah, Simon's the man when it comes to all things recording music that I've seen. So I mean, I've been with him in a recording studio for a few things, and you know, it's you're doing some magic in there. Well, you're all doing some magic. I mean, again, I remember that first show very distinctly. You know, when it was a different sound, a smaller sound, and it still killed. I remember talking, I think maybe to Colin after the show, and just to see where you guys have evolved to this point has been pretty epic. And yeah, I love to see what you're doing, and I can't wait to see what you guys do next.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to throw out there for the folks at home?
Yeah, the only person I can think of that we had included in the studio the whole time was Drew Stoles. So that's going to be real exciting if we get to work with him again in the future. That was the second guitar on 55 on the Other Side.
Nice.
And some unreleased stuff. That's what reminded me about it. I was like, yeah, we only have one tune actually with Drew Stoles, wink, wink, But it'd be pretty cool to work with. It's been really cool working with new musicians along the way. I mean, we've not even really technically known Simon for a year.
Yeah.
Even still,
Yeah.
And yes, we obviously hired him for the gear. We love his stuff. Honestly,
He's a nice
we
guy,
tell
but
him
the
to
gears
leave.
really works.
Yeah,
Yeah.
No, but I feel like if we handed him a toy piano, he would make whirlwinds worth of music for us to utilize. So
Sure.
We should try that for
like a Casio. I got a Casio I've been holding on to.
I'll get a ukulele bass.
Yeah, you guys just all play toys on an album.
Toys,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think
I think
I mean, toy album.
I think that's the next album
Yeah.
right there.
If the Roots can do it, we can do it, right? So
exactly.
yeah.
All right, so Salem Lights is the album. The release date is
September 4th.
September 4th, and we'll throw all the info in the show notes, but check out the Erly online, social media. Make sure you come to the record release show, and also buy the album, buy some merch, give musicians your money. If you want independent music, you got to support it. So, the Erly, thanks for taking the time to come and hang out in the studio.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Take
Thank
care.
you.
You have been listening to Anywhere the Needle Drops, a product of Red Chuck Productions. Be sure to keep tabs on everything going on with this show and everything else Red Chuck over at redchuckproductions.com or by following us at Red Chuck Productions on social media. Special thanks to Hero Jr. for our theme music. You can check them out, listen to their songs, and see where they're going to be over at herojrmusic.com. That's HEROJRMUSIC.com. Also, special thanks to Paul Clemson, our sound engineer and producer. And while you're at it, make sure you visit the websites and band camps and shows of all of our guests. If you want local music, if you want independent music, or any kind of art, you've got to support them. So give musicians and artists your money. We will see you at the next episode. Until then, here's to life.
Well, 'cause I, could I, would I?